Alrighty, guys, welcome to an edition of Webinar Wednesday with Ronnie, and we have Mr. Randy here. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just feeling a lot more Christmassy after Thanksgiving holiday. So, uh, just the world is still weird, but just
It's
trying
a
to.
good time of year there where you can kind of forget about that because everyone's typically in a good mood overall with the holidays. But yeah, it's crazy. It's the year's coming to an end.
Yep, it definitely comes to an end. So, what we wanted to talk about on this webinar Wednesday is really, the importance of going back and just saying thank you and following up with people that you have done deals with earlier and throughout the year. Just going back and taking time to reflect and connect with those people, because usually during this time deals are a little bit slower. So it's really important just to kind of go back and recap as you're getting ready to build momentum going into next year. So for me this year, I have spent a lot of times talking with wholesalers, doing a lot of deals with a lot of different wholesalers. So what I am really taking time to do is just to talk with them one on one, setting up some Zoom meetings, just trying to see, really review how their year has been. Because, in this business, I mean, you're doing a lot of networking and talking, but sometimes it's a lot of small talk, a lot of chit chat, real quick, but really just taking some time just to kind of dig deeper and to really strengthen those relationships and really get to know the people that are within my network and wholesale network on a more personal level. I'm also taking some time just to check in on some direct sellers that I have had some really good relationships with, and really good history with, just to see, how they're doing.
Yeah.
What's going on. There's a couple of sellers that were older and they were getting ready to sell to us. And they did, and then they transitioning to new spaces and new places. So just to kind of check in and see exactly how they're doing, and again to tell them thank you for working with us during this holiday season. It's a great time just to reflect and remember, and just to see what's going on with people, and how you still might be able to help them in some type of way. For
hmm
us, and for me personally, we love to connect and love to just kind of pray with people, see their testimony, see what's going on with them. I bought a house from a couple that was experiencing cancer in their family, and they ended up having to move out of state down near Alabama. But in checking with him this week, he said that his cancer is going well. The treatment and things that is going well, and so that makes me feel good, because I really like positive stories, positive ends to stories.
Yeah.
And then just checking in. I really do care for the people I work with, on all types of levels. So Randy, what about you? What do you be doing, in helping people and just kind of reviewing your year?
Yeah. Kind of the same boat, just on the opposite side with buyers. Just, going back and, just sending out some last like end of the year thank yous, kind of sending some good vibes leading into the next year, but just going back and, just telling everyone how appreciative you are of just working together and kind of building a business relationship. And, especially if anyone out there's got a bigger buyers list in their business, just going back to your top buyers. And one thing that's really been good for me is I just ask for feedback at the end of each year. Like, hey, like how has it been working with me this year? And what would you, if you could change anything, or if you want to see something done different that I do, like what would that be? And you would, I mean, the feedback that you get from that is huge. Like last year when I did that, I got so many different and it's all constructive, but most of it's just like good. Like usually people like you anyway, so they're not gonna say like, oh, you're doing a horrible job, but they're like, hey, it'd be cool if you did this. And we implemented a lot of things from last year into this year that really helped, I guess, like my side of like how we sell properties and how we promote things, just based on just a simple email like, hey, I love working with you, tell me a little bit about what you would have different if you could. And gets tons of feedback that way. And then just looking back to anyone that we've done maybe just one deal with, having those conversations like, hey, how do we do more deals next year, or how's that deal going? You just kind of want to not only just reach out, but like genuinely ask, like, hey, how's that property going that you bought from me? Is it going to plan? Did you get it? Did you get tenant occupied? Did you flip it? How much money did you make? Like, was this a good deal for you, rather than just kind of just selling the property 4 months ago and then never say anything and bringing it up again? Because that's going to spark another conversation. And then really, I mean, it's all relationships. And what comes from that is more business and referrals, and friendships. So, that's the whole point of that. So, Ronnie, you mentioned something, because I think it's kind of unique, like for stuff on my end, like reaching out to buyers on a regular basis is kind of like, for any dispositions manager, that's a normal day-to-day thing. I don't think a lot of people probably follow up with a seller after you have sold their house, and who knows what they're doing, right? Because
Right.
I know back when I started, like I just sold the house, like I never heard from those sellers again. But
Yeah.
I think when you mentioned that, I think that was really cool. How are those conversations like? Because I'm not sure they're all different, but like, what do they really, are they surprised that you're reaching out, or like what are those like?
Yes, they are surprised, but I like to put the adjective. They're also pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Especially people that that we bought the house from, just because you do a lot of uh, networking and rapport building on the front end in order to acquire the house. And again, because acquisition managers in this business, it's so transactional. You have a tendency like, oh, I got the contract, okay, it's close to closing, boom, I'm done.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On to the next one. But they are pleasantly surprised, and within that, what has happened is that I've also gotten a couple of referrals about other properties that they either found out about, or family members. This is like, what, I'm going to refer you to. To my family friend, because they also have a property that they're looking for, and that's just a nice that's a nice plus one,
Yeah.
that's a nice bonus, but for us, we really, what our brand is and what we want to do to set ourselves apart is to go that extra mile, to dig deeper, to really build up relationships and make sure that the customer experience is really well overall. And that little follow up at the end is kind of just a button up. I even have one couple that we just bought their home, but one of the things we did is that we sent them. They were newlyweds, and they were later in their ages in newlyweds. They're like plus 65, and they just got married like in the middle of COVID and everything. But they went. But we sent them a late wedding gift. Just a personal touch to say, hey, thank you so much, for working with us, and we got them. I think we got them a tea kettle, a hot electric tea kettle, and they loved it. They
Hey,
absolutely.
what do you get a 65-year-old newlywed? They've already had everything.
Right, we'll get you, something to help, a tea kettle to warm up your water and your coffee and stuff. So I mean, it's just really cool to kind of have that. But having that conversation with them, they were again extremely thankful. And it is also too, like Randy said, asking, hey, is there anything else I could have done different to kind
Yeah.
of your experience? Any feedback you have for me, I'm definitely open to that. Now, what I'm going to do next week, though, there are some sellers that there were some near misses on that I clearly remember, and because I personally want to push myself to be better. I'm going back and I'm asking like, hey, no, congratulations again on selling your home. I know that we did not get your home, and we're able to come to agreement, and just ask them a what question. What was it about that offer that you decided to do, or decided to go with someone else? Again, to get that feedback, because we want to, take this time when the phones are maybe down a little bit lower, to also take some time to really invest in yourself as you, want to prepare for it next year. So also take this time to kind of just hunker down, learn more about yourself, about your business, and what you can kind of do in order to perfect your craft or improve your craft, your scripting or whatnot.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are just kind of scared to do that step, is like go back to the people you did business with and ask how you did. Because a lot of people are scared to hear if it's going to be bad or good. But that's the whole point. It's not just to ask the question just to make them feel good about you caring, but it's hey, like they're gonna be honest with you. It's someone that you've done business with. They're gonna tell you how you're doing, and you got to take that, and be a big boy, and don't get offended. But then make it turn into a positive and apply it to your business if it's going to make you better in any way. So, that's something that I've always done for years, and I've always got something out of it. So, what else, man? What else are you doing? It's the end of the year.
I'm also just, I mean, this might sound simple, but just happy to make it to the end of 2020. So,
Truth.
I mean, because in following up with some people that are in our network, some people didn't have good years, and so I'm just really, also checking at people just to support them, and even some people that might have quit, just to encourage them to, hey, let's try again. What can we do, in order to kind of help you to kind of get back, to where you want to get to, or either help them if they want to go to in a different field, just kind of sending that encouragement to them to really, push them along, because anything and anybody that's connected to me, I want them to do well.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I don't care whatever that is. So, I'm looking for that. And then also, sending out those books, connecting with people just to, giving people reading material as they're sitting over there, open fire and watching the kids run around or whatever it is and getting ready for the holidays, giving them some books. So I'm always going to recommend Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. You can never, just review that material again, because every time you review material or you review a training, you're going to get something new or something different out of it. Again, so what training did you pass on back in January that you didn't kind of go back and look at? Now you kind of have that time to kind of go and hunker down and go in that to, again, better yourself and better your craft.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And while we're at it, I'll throw a book out there. So I think it's one that's been out for years, but it's called The One Thing by Gary Keller.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good book for someone to transition from this year to next year, just because it's really just teaching you, like, hey, what's the one thing right now that you need to focus on that's going to better your business and move the needle. That's what the whole book's about. And I think with all the stuff going on, it's kind of easy to get scatterbrained and sidetracked. So I would recommend that book to anyone who's never read it, and pick that up and add it to your arsenal there.
Yeah, most definitely. One of the other things that is also important, like, yeah, you're going to get feedback from maybe some of your buyers, and also maybe get feedback from some of your sellers. But I would also take this time to if you don't have a business coach, definitely take this time to talk with maybe whoever, maybe your mentor is in this space, to talk with your mentor, just to kind of have them go through and kind of just break down, what they're seeing in your business, some of the pain points that you've had in the year. So I know I've talked with a lot of wholesalers that have had some issues with, marketing, and where they can kind of spend their marketing dollars, so again, talking with the mentor about, what you've done in your business, what you've done over certain quarters, even looking down and digging deeper into your data, as far as, maybe what, the areas you're having trouble in, there's certain zip codes that were working for you that wasn't, or,
right.
Just kind of just taking a look at everything, and just making sure that you really know your numbers as you're getting ready to kind of plan for, what you're going to be doing in 2021.
Yeah, and I know, even kind of piggybacking off that thought, like, I know a lot of us here on our team, if it's a little slower on the phones, then, we're going to be hammering down on the training. So it's a good time to, dive into some training, if it's like a online or whatever it is, if it's coaching or if it's a program online. It's a good time to, if you're going to have some more downtime, to, dive in there and learn a little bit and sharpen your skills.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Well, look, guys, this webinar Wednesday, this one is going to, this one a little bit shorter, as we're getting ready, just to, plan for our day. But look, we thank you guys for joining us on this webinar Wednesday. If you have any suggestions for books or trainings, or, any type of material that, you guys would suggest, please leave it down here in the comments, so we can also take a look at it, and our community can also take a look at it too, so we all can be better together. Okay, so with that, this is Ronnie and Randy, and thank you for joining us on this webinar Wednesday.
See you guys.